Hello and welcome to Daily Trends on Pinax News. I'm AA here with all the latest updates in the world.
It's info. Once again, a very big welcome to Pinax. And we are getting a very breaking news on this particular platform. The breaking news we are getting on this platform indicates that the Queen Elizabeth, is dead. Now, we've been following this story for a while, and the news started pouring in early in the morning. You could realize, or if you're a person who is very keen on social media, you realize that on social media, especially on Twitter, to be precise, the Queen has been trending since dawn at number one after officials who are close to the Queen came out with an announcement that the Queen's condition is something which has worsened, and then they are just hoping for the best. But then people started suspecting that perhaps the West might be coming because we saw a lot of the royals flying in from all over or from all parts of the world, moving to the Queen's bedside, and that was signaling something. Perhaps it was giving a signal that the end of the great Queen Elizabeth is here. I'm here with one of my colleagues here, Abby. She will be giving us more insight. We'll be talking about this issue, this particular breaking news that we have got. So, first of all, what do you have for us, Abby, in regards to the Queen's death?
Okay, Her Majesty Mrs. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary, who is popularly known as Queen Elizabeth, since morning or since afternoon, we got a notification from her doctor, which says that the Majesty is going through a lot, and that a lot of people came on social media bringing about their well wishing, which even from Bloomberg UK, they said they will send their best wishes to Her Majesty the Queen. She and the royal family are in our thoughts and the prayers at this moment. Also, the Speaker, Lindsay Hoyle, addresses the MPs after the announcement made that the Queen is under medical supervision at Balmoral. Emphatically means Her Majesty is not in a good shape. So all these surrounding all that we have. And so her family that has gathered at a Scottish estate after the concern grew about her health earlier on Thursday. The Queen came to the throne in 1952 and witnessed enormous social change. With her death, her eldest son, Charles, the former Prince of Wales, will lead the country in mourning as the new king and head of state for 14 Commonwealth realms. In a statement, Buckingham Palace said the Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon. The King and the Queen Consort will remain at Balmoral this evening and will return to London tomorrow. All the Queen's children travelled to Balmoral near Aberdeen after doctors placed the Queen under medical
I prefer
supervision.
if we get something which is more natural than you reading a lot of stuff for us. I'm very sorry, but this is what is happening. So we are once again getting a breaking news that Queen Elizabeth is dead. Now, what we know is that the final moments of the Queen was today in Scotland when she had a meeting at Aberdeen, and then she was supposed to meet some executives or perhaps some high people in power, and for them to discuss, about the economy, the state of the Great Britain, the UK itself, and a whole lot of other pending issues. But unfortunately, during or prior to the meeting, few minutes to the meeting, they got a hint that the Queen had cancelled all meeting because her health condition had worsened. And the sad part of it all was that they had rushed the Queen to the hospital. So when they rushed the Queen to the hospital, what we are also learning is that her personal doctor, her personal aide, and the royal family, they were behind her. And according to the experts and doctors, they are saying that the Queen's condition worsened or got worse by time. And during this particular time, they had to perhaps put in a distress call and alert all the royal folks that, hey, this is what is happening to our grandmother, our mother, our great grandmother. She is in a very dire state, and then something needs to be done. So we could see that Prince William, Prince Charles, Queen Princess Camilla, all the royal family members that you could think of, all of them trooped immediately to the Queen's side, and this was a signal that the end of the reign of the greatest Queen Elizabeth have come to an end. Now, there are more scores, and what people want to know, and the big question that people are asking is that how did we arrive here? Abby, people are asking how did we arrive here? What we are getting exclusively is that the whole thing started, or it became a pattern after Queen Elizabeth's husband died. Yeah, you want to come in?
Okay, after this sad event,
I'm very happy
eventually.
if you don't read anything from your
I'm
script.
not reading.
Let's flow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm listening. The people are listening to you.
anyway, the sad news, in fact, broke the hearts of a lot of people, especially those that were at the premises this morning, which the announcement came that she has been sent to the hospital. Many still do not know what really led to the death of our queen, and that's the only news that got to our decks is that she has been rushed to the hospital. Even in the morning, they were denying the news that the queen was in good shape and that nobody else should worry about all that is happening. Well, in her tenure of office, it is something that she did so much well that people are still backing her with that. And that is from time immemorial, we all know that the slave trade that was in town brought a lot of distress to a lot of people, especially to the Africans.
So you
So,
see, the big question that people are asking is, what killed the queen? What killed the queen? Now, as I said earlier on, death is inevitable. Any person or any person in this world, everyone, including myself and you, all of us will pass away one day. But then, there's something which has to cause your death. Even though, if even it is a natural death, something have to trigger the natural death. So before we go on to the monarchy, the history of Queen Elizabeth, remembering her and all of these things. What we are getting is that the spouse, I mean, all of Queen Elizabeth's health issues started deteriorating immediately after Prince Charles died last year in 2021. Now, recall, Prince Charles was the husband of Queen Elizabeth, and they had married for over 70 years. If you recall that uh, Prince Charles was born on June 10th, 1921, and then at the age of around 22, 23 years after he served at the army, I mean, he met the queen and perhaps they fell in love, and then they got married. But then sadly last year, uh, April 9th, 2021, Prince Philip, who happened to be the husband of Queen Elizabeth, died, and this, according to the doctors, contributed immensely to the deteriorating health of Queen Elizabeth, and this was so sad. So this is what the doctors are saying, and this is what we are learning, that perhaps the cause of death of Queen Elizabeth was largely due to the fact that she was, perhaps we could say, she was feeling lonely. Perhaps that caused the death. You want to come in? I'm asking if you want to come in.
no, you've given all the
So
details
yeah,
about
if
the
there are
death.
questions, people want to ask questions. I mean, you should ask on their behalf in regards to the case. So this is
Oh,
a breaking
okay.
news
A lot
we are
are
getting.
asking because we didn't just hear she died at home, but she died in the hospital, which means something triggered it. Did she fall down or she collapsed, or does it mean that she was having something called an illness that we didn't know of?
So as I'm saying, last year, April 9th, 2021, Prince Philip, who happened to be the husband and also the Duke of Edinburgh, died, and he happened to be obviously the right hand man of Queen Elizabeth. And according to sources, what we are learning is that immediately Prince Philip died at the age of 99 years last year, April 9th. The Queen started feeling lonely. This, according to the Queen's personal doctors, the Queen started feeling lonely, and in view of that, looking at the age, thinking, grieving, it contributed immensely to the Queen's deteriorating health, and in fact caused the Queen some, perhaps, what I'll put it as, a loneliness which triggered anxiety and all of that. And in view of that, her health started deteriorating. So her health had been deteriorating. Remember, earlier this year, the Queen was under a lockdown after information came out that she had come into contact with someone who had the COVID-19, or someone who had contracted the coronavirus, and she was sent to lockdown on several occasions. But ultimately, during all of those times, the Queen came out and head, which was a very great thing, which was a very good thing. So it was cool. But when the news started flooding in this morning that at dawn that Queen Elizabeth has been hospitalized, she has cancelled all her meetings at Scotland, Aberdeen, then people started wondering. But coming proud to the evening in the UK, in Europe, US, we realized that the news about the Queen was not getting any better, and we could see all the royals flying in from all over or every part of the world to Scotland to be by the Queen's side. So that was a very good signal telling us that something was wrong. Something was wrong. And ultimately, around 5 p.m. Ghana time or 4 p.m. UK time, it has been confirmed that Queen Elizabeth is dead at 96 years. Now, remember, the whole lot of achievement that this woman has achieved. Remember, she was the longest serving monarch in history. And also, remember this year she had a diamond jubilee or something. The celebration was so much. I mean, immense, and she has done a whole lot of work. But as we are saying, this is not going to be the turning point. To assume that Queen Elizabeth had lived a more glamorous or a more smooth life without controversies. Queen Elizabeth herself has found herself in a whole lot of controversy. Remember, in the 1990s, during the death of Princess Diana, she was engulfed after people asserted that the Queen perhaps planned this kind of orchestrated the death of Princess Diana because they feared she was going out of line, or she was spiraling out, she was becoming more famous than the royal family itself, and then perhaps they couldn't stand it. So she herself have been embroiled in a whole lot of scandals. Now, last 4 years, we saw that Meghan, that's the actress who married Prince Charles, she was at the royal family, and realized after a year or two, Meghan's husband and Meghan herself realized that no, in as much as we are at the royal family, we will like, we don't want, we don't like what is going on. We don't like what is going on. So, Prince Harry's wife, which is Meghan Markle, when she was married, the whole wedding was glamorous, but when she was sent into the royal family a year or two, we realized that she said she was not happy, the signs and a whole lot of things, and people were thinking this is going to be a Princess Diana 2.0, which means the history of what happened to Princess Diana is perhaps going to repeat itself. And Meghan Markle, together with Prince Harry, left the UK. They headed off to Canada, and later relocated to California, the United States of America. And later on, she had the bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey. And the interview that she had with Oprah Winfrey kind of embroiled the Queen again in all of these controversies of, kind of pumping racism at the royal family or at the castle, because Meghan is half black and all of those things which are involved. So the Queen herself have had her fair share of criticism and controversy, but all being so, we could see that we could say that she had also lived a very fruitful life, a life which is worth remembering. She's also helped in a lot of projects and a whole lot. So now, one thing about Meghan Markle, who is the Duchess of Sussex, is that shortly before the death of the Queen herself, last month, the Queen invited Meghan and Harry to have some time with her. Meghan and Harry denied it. Meghan and Harry denied it. Once again, I'll say last month, the Queen Elizabeth invited Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to have time with her after, they visited, or they came to the UK to celebrate the Queen's Diamond Jubilee celebration and all of that. And there were even reports that they booed Meghan, they booed Harry. The Queen invited these two, or this duo, that, whatever has happened, come and let's have some time. I want to spend some time with you. But ultimately, Prince Harry and Meghan declined it. Little did they know that that was the final moments of the Queen, and she wanted to spend it with them. This is a sad thing, and that moment has passed. There's nothing else that could be done. So this is the sad news that we are getting, and currently we could tell you is that there's more news flying in from all over the world. We are having world leaders mourning the death of the Queen. Just 3 hours ago, Joe Biden, the U.S. president, sent a message trying to console or trying to give hope to the royal family that they are hoping for a positive news that the Queen herself will be good, and then she'll come out from this medical predicament. But then ultimately she has died, and this is a very, very, very sad news.
Okay, so like we all know, every throne has a successor. Right now, we all know that Queen Elizabeth is no more. Who is now going to succeed her?
What we know, for Queen Elizabeth's throne and the person who's going to succeed her, last year they released a statement, or they released some kind of what do you call it? More like a diagram showing who is next in line and all of that, and is something that is really, really, really dicey. But then we will be putting a certain graph on the screens, and this graph is going to tell us who is the next in line. But then we have news that the next in line after Queen Elizabeth to become or to take over to take over the monarchy is Prince Andrew. So we are looking at this. Sorry, Prince Charles. Forgive me, Prince Charles. So we are learning that Prince Charles will succeed. Prince Charles will succeed Queen Elizabeth II. Now, as I said earlier on, there's a diagram that will be sharing to our viewers on the screens, and this diagram that will be sharing to our viewers on the screens perhaps detail the monarchy and how things are done, and who is even next in line in terms of succession and all of this particular thing. So in a minute I think the graph will be on the screens, as you guys can see on the screen. So as you can see on top of this graph, if we enlarge it, is as you can see, please concentrate on the far left on the screen. You see the immediate line of succession, and you can see that Queen Elizabeth the second and Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. So, if the prince, if Prince Philip or Queen Elizabeth's husband was alive, he would have immediately climbed onto the throne to be the king. But he is dead, and Queen Elizabeth too is dead. So, if you see, or if you concentrate what we are seeing below, you can see that the next. I think we need to put in some sort of an arrow. So let's work on the arrow. But what we are learning, because I want people to get a vivid a vivid account of what is going on, and even what is really happening, and why all of these particular things are happening. So very soon we'll be adding some sort of a diagram to it, some sort of what do you call it, an arrow to it, for people to know, or for people to follow exactly what is going on, more like a pointer. So I think our pointer is almost in. So we'll be pointing to the people whom we think, or perhaps per the graph which was released by the royal family, who is next in line in terms of succession. We are looking at that. But before we go on in regards to, you wanted to ask a question.
Okay, how long has Queen Elizabeth been a queen?
Well, you could more help us with the research, since you're a journalist yourself. You could help us with the research. So help us with the research. How long has Queen Elizabeth been? Now, you are watching us live. We just want you to know you can bring in your comments, anything that you want, or perhaps any question, what you want to know, what happened. We are here for you 24/7. We're giving you more updates. So as we check how long the Queen has been on the throne, that is the Queen's history as Queen herself. We'll also be looking. We are also looking at the graph which we've got right now, which is being shown on the screens. In a minute, we'll be getting, or we'll putting an arrow on the screens, which will kind of an arrow on the screens, which will kind of help us with this. So, do you have the numbers? How long Queen Elizabeth have been on the throne? Do you have something for us?
44 years.
44 years.
Yeah.
I'm not sure Queen Elizabeth have been queen for 44 years. Are you sure? Because Queen Elizabeth was queen right from 36. I think or even before 30. So it's been over 70 years. Please confirm the numbers for us and don't give us any number. So as always, we are right here. We are live on Pinax TV. We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. And finally, the sad news that the world was not expecting is in. What we are learning is that Queen Elizabeth is dead. Any news you have? So unfortunately, we couldn't get the graph, but we couldn't get the icon to kind of help us with what we wanted, but we will do our best to get the icon. So as you were saying, Queen
Okay,
Elizabeth.
so Queen Elizabeth, she reigned from 1926 to 2022. That is 70 years and 7 months.
So you see,
The longest of the British
so
monarch.
it is never what do you call it, 44 years. 44 years is never. So this is the news we are getting, and we are hoping we get our pointers for us to finally our pointers is in. So please follow the yellow arrow on the screens now. Someone is asking how who is next in line, who is the next queen. So please let's focus on the arrow. So the arrow on the screens clearly shows that Queen Elizabeth, she was the queen, and if Queen Elizabeth was dead like last year, or she died before her husband, the arrow is now on the husband, then the husband will have been the successor. But unfortunately, the husband, Prince the Duke of Edinburgh, died last year, as you can see on the screen, 1921 to 2021. He died at the age of 99 years, April 9th, 2021, and Queen Elizabeth today is also dead at 96 years. So the question is this: after this, Queen Elizabeth is dead, the husband is dead. Who is next in line? What we are learning is that the Queen's first son, whose name is Prince Charles, who happens to be the father of Prince Harry, is the next one in line. So as you can see, Prince Charles, that's the arrow there, and he is the next in line. Now, recall, in the beginning, I was telling you guys about something that Prince Charles was married to Princess Diana, and we all remember what happened, and the messy divorce that happened in the 1990s that caused the death of Princess Diana when she had an accident in France. So as you can see, Princess Diana, she's the one that the arrow is on, and if what do you call it? If Princess Diana was to be alive, perhaps she will have been the next to succeed. What do you call it? Queen Elizabeth, if the husband Prince Charles was there. So we are moving on to what do you call it? The next in line after Prince Charles, and the next in line after Prince Charles is Camilla, the Duchess of Conway. And if that doesn't happen, we will move on to the other part of the royal family is Sparrow's Captain Mark Phillips. At a point in time, it also goes to the Vice Admiral Timothy Lawrence. Timothy Lawrence is there. We also have Andrew, the Duke of York, and the wife, who is Sarah, the Duchess of York. We also move to Edward, Earl of Wessex, and also the wife, who is Sophie, Countess of Wessex. So these are the people who are next to ascertain the throne, because remember, there are a whole lot of people there. If you are following the arrow, you realize that we have the Autumn Phillips, Peter Phillip, the Zara Tinder, and Mike Tinder. They are also there. They also have a fair share to the monarch. And if you move far right, you have Lady Louise Windsor and James Viscount 7. So these are all people there that who also, I mean, kind of have a person who will be the king of Sussex, the Duke of Sussex. So as you can see, their wives could have taken over, but since that is what we are learning on the far right. So we have the prince long way down in terms of the monarch, and as you can see on the screen, if we come down, the daughter of Prince Harry. So this is a rough estimate or a rough guess of what is happening in case we need a monarch. It's a long way down, trust me.
And also transfer sovereignty. So what has been the unique, extraordinary,
but what we say,
that in as much as all these are spreading out, it has been also a very great and memorable event today. And so we have to mark this day on the 8th of September 2022.
Yeah. So as we asked, you were asking something. What were you asking?
Okay, I asked what's the extraordinary ability that she has been able to.
The queen have proved beyond doubt that women can also serve, and she was a humble person. And the queen have also proved beyond reasonable doubt that uh, women can rule the world, and the queen will forever be remembered as a person who stood for peace, as a person who stood for who cared about the people. You know, one funny thing about Queen Elizabeth is that she has never involved herself in active politics, even to the day she died. So perhaps she's a real definition of a queen who stood for um, perhaps what was good. Now let's head over to YouTube and read some comments. We are getting a comment from Philip Abe. So what's sad about a 96 years old death? Every death is sad, Philip. Every death is sad, regardless of the age. Every death is sad. Now, Michael Williams say, "May her perfect soul rest in peace." Yeah, Philip Abe says she has overlived the life expectancy age. May she rest well. Michael Williams say, "Oh yeah." Michael Williams again say, "Amen." Now, GH Missy say they are telling lies. We don't know. Do you think she's alive? Well, give us the proof. And for Daniel J say, "May her soul rest in peace." Robbie Boateng say love. Funny though. Raymond Bedu says rest our queen. John Giddy Jikunu, what is the sadness in this? Robbie Boateng say lies, lies, the queen is alive. Wow, it's so amazing how people think the queen is alive. And John Giddy again say 96 is enough on earth. Abu Hassan say RIP queen lol. Georgina Edgy say may you rest in peace. And then also Canopy say, may she rest in peace. Amaje say, may she rest in peace. Frankie Friedrich Mensah, who is next in line now? As we said, the next in line is Prince Charles. Prince Charles is the next in line. We showed you the graph there. Wow, may she rest in peace. Cloney says, I won't believe this. Well, unfortunately, that's the news we are getting. If you have evidence otherwise, let us know. Akos VAM says, may my condolences to the family, our lovely grandmother. So sad. Rainbird Akusia Boachiwa is true. She died. May her soul rest in peace. And also Philip Down, so rest well, Queen. And Ednana Ashoko Botri say, may your soul rest in perfect peace. So, breaking news reaching the decks of Pinax TV right now indicates that the Queen Elizabeth is dead. She is dead. Do you have any? Do you have something for us?
No,
So
that's
we are live on Pinax TV. We are live on Pinax GH. Queen Elizabeth is dead.
okay. So from Samodiodu, he also says, "May her gentle soul rest in perfect peace."
So give us perhaps what we think as Abakosem about the Queen, and let's see.
Okay, so Her Majesty Elizabeth II is the Queen of the United Kingdom and 14 other Commonwealth world. She was born in Mayfair, London, as the first child of the Duke and Duchess of York. Her father ascended to the throne in 1936 upon the abdication of his brother King Edward VIII, making Her Majesty Elizabeth the heir presumptive. Where she was birthed on the 21st of April 1926, and therefore she is 96 years old. Okay, so what's happening now without the Queen's steady inflation present? Well, we're taking the Elizabeth II out of the frame at the splendor of state dinners for visiting presidents, the solemn obsequies for fallen war heroes, and the glorious theatre of the opening of Parliament when the mere glimpse of her scarlet velvet emerald robe makes even the unrulers of MPs sit up straight. How will anyone know how to be British anymore? Wright Brown in the Palace paper says that in an age when everybody has opinions, she has maintained the discipline of never revealing hers. Her epic squalisms has come to signify the endurance of the nation over the course of her nearly 70 years on the throne. The Queen has served as the bridge between past and present, essential and implacable as concrete. Whatever her successor brings to the throne, it will have to be something quite different. Chaotic election cycles like this remind us how important an informed electorate is. Now, it's not a time for paywalls. Now is the time to point out what's hidden in plain sight. Clearly, explain the answers to voters' questions, illuminate the stakes of this election, and give people the tools they need to be active participants in Americans' democracy. All right, people are also asking what she's the relevance of what she's doing in a wider context. Elizabeth was born on April 21st, 1926. Television as a technology was 3 months old. Americans' Great Depression was 3 years away. Just 8 years before, the Russian seekers had been executed. As Elizabeth was born, a politically charged coal miner strike had royalists fearing that the English victors would be next. At the time, Elizabeth was third in line to the throne and an unlikely target for anyone's revolutionary fervor. She was the eldest daughter of a second son, and her uncle Edward was the heir to the throne. Nevertheless, she seems to have been equipped with a strong sense of duty early on, along with a love for tidiness and thrift. When she swept during her christening at Buckingham Palace, it will, Sarah Bradford wrote in her 1996 biography, Elizabeth, be the last time that Elizabeth ever made a public scene. Hardman reports that one of Elizabeth's favorite nursery toys was a dustpan and brush, and that kept a special box where she would store wrapping paper and ribbons for reuse. In 1936, Edward abdicated the throne and Elizabeth's father ascended to become George VI. Elizabeth was now abruptly heir to the throne and a key diplomatic asset. According to the Hardman, the shy young princess found the shift difficult, but she applied her characteristic work ethic to her new life. The British Pierre Fritzlander Howard wrote in his diary of meeting Lilibet, Elizabeth's childhood nickname, as at a drinks party in 1941 and being proud of her, Lilibet finds making conversation very difficult like me, but she did very well, Howard wrote. Already, Elizabeth had hit upon her favorite conversational strategy. She insisted on bringing the ducks in. Howard's diary entry continued, because she said they were the greatest save to the conversation when it dropped. In 1952, Elizabeth's father died, and the 25-year-old ascended to the throne. Reportedly, she was the first overwhelmed by the brutal grind of life as a working monarch. On a tour of Australia in 1954, Hardman writes, the Queen was heard to complain wearily, but uncharacteristically, that this endless diet of mayoral platitudes was boring, boring, boring. No one would ever catch the Queen saying such a thing later in her reign. Instead, she tended to chide those who ever suggested that any of her royal duties might be uninteresting. Hardman quotes a former private secretary who remarked to the Queen that a reception for the Commonwealth Auditors Association would be quite a boring one. She shredded me, the secretary said. The Queen said, this is not boring, this is interesting and important because these are the people bringing up the standards and fighting corruption in some really difficult countries. They need the support and the encouragement they get from me and this operation. In other words, she seems the relevance of what she's doing in a wider context. That stern focus on the wider context, that insistence that her work is interesting because it is necessary, is part of a sense of discipline the Queen brought to the royal family. In the monarchy, she focused as necessary because the job is unending. Being royalty means living your life in public, not just for decades, like movie stars, but always and forever. Celebrities flare and burn out. The monarchy plays the long game, writes Brown in the Palace Papers. There is no time stamp on the public's interest in you as long as it's clear that your interest is the public's. As the Queen's grandmother, Queen Mary, once said to a relative, you are a member of the British royal family. We are never tired and we all love hospitals. Elizabeth's reticence emerged as a natural consequence of this discipline. She was schooled, Brown writes, to erect inflexible, lifelong barriers around her private thoughts and feelings. Those barriers would serve her well over her decades of work. Her refusal to ever grant a single interview throughout her reign only enhanced her mystic. All right, guys. So the subtle power of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, that is the longest reigning monarch in British history, maintained a blank slate onto which her subjects, fellow politicians, and the world could project. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, died today, September 8th, at Balmoral Castle on her Scottish estate. She was 96 years old and had been on the throne since the age of 25. Her death marks the end of one of the most successful reigns in any contemporary monarchy. The 20th century saw monarchs across Europe monarchs deposed or exiled or executed. Elizabeth grew up surrounded by royal relatives feeling their home countries amid the chaos of World War II and taking refuge in England. But under her reign, Britain's monarchy didn't only survive, it continued to be downright popular, and specifically, so she. A recent UK poll showed the Queen rejoicing in a favorability rating of 75%. Advocates for a British Republic frequently cite the Queen's popularity as the reason England remains a monarchy. In his biography, Queen of Our Times, Robert Hardman wrote the Labour Republican Neville ran as saying, "The biggest problem we've got is the Queen. Everybody loves her." The Queen's popularity comes from a source that can feel somewhat remarkable to America and its gland handing politics. She has been beloved for decades not for sparkling charisma or great rhetorical flair, but for her steadfast and superhuman ability to give absolutely nothing away. Never complain, never explain is the motto of the royal family, and the Queen herself served as its living embodiment. Elizabeth lived her life with ferocious discipline, pressing herself into the form of a blank slate and to whom onlookers could project practically anything. She made being a little bit dull into an art form, of which she became the world's greatest practitioner. As such, she provided her monarchy with greatest assets. Queen Elizabeth II was anyone her people wanted her to be. Because she has spent her entire life being such a closed book, people project onto her whatever they want her to be. A former royal advisor says of the Queen in Tina Brown's Insider Royal, tell all the palace papers because she's not showing any emotion at all. She's not dividing the audience. She's not on one side or the other. And that must be exhausting for her. Okay, so we are all aiming to add up a lot of things concerning the Queen's demise, which unto some it's a shocking news, others too are rejoicing over it, as some are saying that the long awaited death of the Queen is finally here. Okay, so the longest ever reign of Queen Elizabeth II, the only monarch most of his subjects have ever known. Others are asking the big question that Queen Elizabeth urges COP26 climate summit. That is her time for action. Well, it came about that the Elizabeth enjoyed robust health most of her life, but lingering mobility issues affected her in recent months. She increasingly handed over duties to Charles, from the recreational to the constitutional. Last week, she couldn't attend the annual Highland Games, the Burma gathering, which she never missed throughout her reign. On Tuesday, she presided over the transition of one prime minister to a new one, a constitutional duty as head of state which took place at Balmoral for the first time in her reign. But on Wednesday, the palace announced she would not be able to attend via Zoom the meeting of the Privy Council. The Standing Committee of Senior Governmental Advisers, after doctors' orders to rest, new Prime Minister Liz Truss would have taken the oath of office and new cabinet ministers would have been sworn in then.
So yeah, we are still here on the breaking. What do you have? So let's dive more. How do you think the Queen have impacted women globally?
All right, as we all know, most of the times the big thing the men are always saying is
Can
that
you
a
can you can
woman,
you can,
but this queen has proven beyond men are weaker vessels and they are unable to explore and give us what their best could fetch us. Also, people also think that as a woman when you reign, but this woman here has proven otherwise.
um all of us are emotional. It's a matter to all. If someone is emotional about things, it just condones or perhaps sends a message that she cares. She cares. So emotions also go into play, and the Queen have always had a very favorable likability in the UK. People like her. People adore her. I remember Donald Trump used to give her hair and all of that. And unfortunately, today she has died. This is a sad. We're also getting news, breaking news that there's an increased crowd at the Birmingham Palace. People are increasing, and then what we are also learning that within immediate effect, the burial plans for Queen Elizabeth will be announced soon. Will be announced soon. So this is it. You're also getting more news that here in Africa, our leaders, the President Akufo-Addo of Ghana, and also Buhari, together with South Africans, Prime Minister, together with the impact and also how she kind of. You remember way back in 1999. I don't know if you were born or perhaps you were just a year old or so. The Queen came to Ghana. Do you remember? So during that time, during 1999, the Queen Elizabeth came to Ghana, and that was the last year for our president, who our former president, who's dead, Rollins, and during that time, it was so cool, it was so cool, it was so nice, and I mean the emancipation from colonialism, because at the end of the day, when Nkrumah was kind of arrested and detained, and later he came out to win the polls, the Queen gladly accepted the results, which gave Ghana its first black president, that is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So the Queen, you could see, have also had a very nice role to play in all of these things. So she's a beacon of hope. She's a beacon of reasoning. She's also all the good words can be used for the Queen. That is what I think.
Okay. All right, so per your suggestion and the suggestions from others around the world shows clearly that it isn't a good thing that we've heard this sad news, but also it is also to put us on guard and to know that anything can happen just at any time, and so we should be prepared in and out of season.
Yeah, so we're giving you more. Can you give us some comments? So as she's giving us the comments, what we are learning is that Queen Elizabeth II is dead, and that is the breaking news we are receiving right here on the decks of Pinax TV. Queen Elizabeth II is dead, and that is the sad news that we are receiving, that Queen Elizabeth is dead. Now, this news came in today around around 5 p.m. If you're in US, around 12 p.m. Eastern. And the news is that Queen Elizabeth is dead. This is a very sad news because we never anticipated that this year we will have to lose the Queen. But unfortunately, this is the sad situation that we so you want to read comments, and let's proceed.
Okay, so from Samuel Diodu, he says, may her soul rest in perfect peace. Adra Roxon, rest in perfect peace of God. Samuel Diodu, great news just casted. Keep it up. We didn't hear your name. Sorry, it wasn't a news. MATV, sorry for her family. And these are some of the comments from Pinax GH. Also from Pinax TV on Pinax TV. There's a lot of comments over here, and some says from Mami Efia R.I.P. Queen, Emmanuel Kerry R.I.P. with a crying emoji, Hannah Yabua crying as well, Emmanuel Boateng, oh why soon Queen, Princess Ghana, may her soul rest in perfect peace. Nana Agri, rest in perfect peace, great leader by all standard. Alexander Amenin Sapon, a life well lived. Joyce Opoku, so sad, may her soul R.I.P.P. Samuel Buama, I am living in London. It is sad. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Edna Na Ashioko Butchi, may her soul rest in perfect peace.
So yeah, what is next? I'm asking what is next for the queen. Now that she's there, what is next?
Right now that she is dead, we do not know how everything will go about since we are not in the spiritual realm. But what we can say
Spiritual
is
realm.
that we are going to look
Spiritual realm,
forward
I
to the burial,
Spiritual
how
realm.
the burial will go about.
How the burial.
Yes, how the burial will go about. As to the dates and everything when it comes out, we'll make sure that our lovely viewers will get hold of it.
Yeah, so we are getting breaking news that Queen Elizabeth is dead. That is the breaking news that we are getting right here on the desk of Pinax TV, Pinax News, Pinax Plus, everything Pinax. We have all the Jews. We are learning that Queen Elizabeth is dead. Queen Elizabeth is dead. Now, this is a very sad news. Very soon, we also be looking at the Queen in history. What has really happened? Debbie, come. Debbie will be joining us to give us more details as to what is really happening, Queen Elizabeth's death and stuff. So we'll be looking at a whole lot of issues in regards to this. What is really happening? Why? What even happened? So very soon. Yeah, very soon, Debbie, you'll be giving us details as to Queen Elizabeth, what she died. I mean, what killed her. Even though we know what killed her, we are yet to get an official kind of a press release coming from the Queen herself, and this is all in regards to Queen Elizabeth. This is the breaking. Queen Elizabeth is there. So we will be way forward for Queen Elizabeth after initial news have confirmed that Queen Elizabeth herself is there. So Debbie will be giving us more news as to what really happened and stuff. So
Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary of United.
all right, so clearly somebody's nervous. I have to take over. So this is what we are learning. So a little history about what is going on. What we are learning is that Queen Elizabeth is there. So let me take you through the timeline of what happened and stuff. So we are remembering Princess Elizabeth, now Queen Elizabeth, and now the late Queen Elizabeth. She is there. Now many describe this woman as a shy and a humble person, and what we know is that she became known for her Stoicism and a calm demeanor during her 70 years of her throne. Remember, all these while I was giving you a heads up that one of the qualities of the Queen is that she is a very humble person. Remember that thing. So that is what is coming up here in her biography, and we are also learning about for long as she became the queen, the youngest Princess Elizabeth was known as a very shy and humble little girl who had a bit of temper and once threw ink over herself in a fit of frustration while learning French verbs. So that is what we are also learning. And also she was born in Mayfair on April 21st, 1921. So remember, unfortunately, the husband died last year, just 2 weeks to the Queen's birthday. And it was so sad. And remember, the Queen was born to Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary of York, and also the King herself, that's King James, was the grandfather of the Queen. So we are getting more news, and more news. But you see, this was what really happened in 1936 when she was just 10 years old. Her uncle King Edward the ninth abdicated to marry American divorcee Wallis Simpson, making her father king and changing her destiny forever. So as you can see, we are getting a feedback here that her uncle Edward when she decided to marry the Wallace Simpson. That was when the Queen's destiny changed, and her early life was blissful. The family, her parents were the Duke and the Duke and the Duchess of York. They split their time between the 145 Piccadilly, a large home in Hyde Park, and their country home in Royal Lounge, Windsor, now the official residence of Prince Andrew. So basically, that's the Queen have so much been a person. It's a sad thing, but that is what we are learning here. The Queen, perhaps this the end of a very beautiful story. And yeah, so Abby, what do you have for us?
All right, so at the end of the day, now we know that Queen Elizabeth II has lost her life.
So yeah, we have more news going on in We Are Not, and then we are on to the extensive coverage of Queen Elizabeth, and you are right, you are live right on Pinax TV, Pinax GH. We are carrying this particular issue live, and what we can say is that Queen Elizabeth is dead. What we can say is that Queen Elizabeth is dead, and that is the news that we are getting right here on the decks of Pinax TV. Unfortunately, that is the news that we are getting. So we'll be moving over to UK's biggest daily blog, which is UK's biggest daily blog, which is Daily Mail, and we'll be looking at Daily Mail for issues. So let's scroll up. If you can see what is really going on the screens, we are on Daily Mail. We are on Daily Mail, and then that's it. We are having a little bit of flick challenges here. We'll try as much as possible to kind of make it work. We will try as much as possible to make it work, but then we are getting breaking news that Queen Elizabeth is dead, and that is the sad news that we are getting. So we wanted to look at some pictures, some of the great things that Queen Elizabeth herself has done, but it seems the screen is flicking and flicking and flicking. What do you have for us?
Okay, so according to Daily Mail, Queen Elizabeth II dies at 96 after
Died.
history. Dies at 96 after history.
I prefer you say die, because she's already dead, not dies.
Oh, okay. Queen Elizabeth II died at 96 after historic 70-year reign, plunging Britain and a world that loved her into mourning for an unparalleled lifetime of service, duty, and devotion, and making Charles the new king. The Queen is dead. Her son, Charles, the former Prince of Wales, is now king.
Prince of Wales.
Okay. He will address the shocked nation imminently as the world grieves Britain's longest reigning monarch. Her children and Prince William and Prince Harry had rushed to her bedside at Balmoral after doctors became concerned for her health. Hours later, she died. Surrounded by her family, the Queen's death will see Britain and her Commonwealth realms enter into a 10-day period of mourning as millions of her subjects in the UK and abroad come to terms with her passing. And as her son ascends to the throne, there will also be a celebration of her historic 70-year reign that saw her reach her platinum jubilee this year. Platinum. Thank you. A landmark unlikely to be reached again by a British monarch. The Queen's passing came more than a year after that.
So yeah, just to break you in, finally we have
Okay.
the live timeline of Queen Elizabeth on the screen. So as you can see, we will be getting a daily feed of the Queen. So this is dailymail.co.uk. This is the biggest UK newspaper, and now it's online. So as you can see here, we have Queen Elizabeth. She was a fan of animals. Queen Elizabeth was a fan of animals. So in here, you realize that the Queen really liked a certain type of dogs, right? She's always seen around with these short dogs. If you can give me the name of the dogs, comment. Give me the names of the Queen's comments. So Queen Elizabeth's dogs. She had some short dogs. Give me the name of. Just unlock it. It can unlock. So give me the name of Queen Elizabeth dogs. That is it. So as you can see, you guys can see on the screens. What we are seeing here on the screen is Queen Elizabeth when she was just around 11 years or so, and this is her. This is Queen Elizabeth. So unfortunately, the screen is still flicking, but yeah, forgive me. We'll still move towards it. So you can see here on the screens again As you can see on the screens, we have Queen Elizabeth when she was born, and that's Queen Elizabeth when she was just a child. That is Queen Elizabeth. On my left hand side, on my right hand side, you can see Queen Elizabeth in a baby cot, and on the right hand side is Queen Elizabeth's parents, and this is also she's now dead, and now is Queen Elizabeth and her sister when she was just 14 years old. When she was just 14 years old, and now is Queen Elizabeth pictured. That time she was Princess Elizabeth, and she was with the Queen. So ultimately now we have the Queen. She's old, 96 years, and she is no more. We have again here when Queen Elizabeth gave birth. So yeah. We have the name just to sorry for cutting you guys, but we have the names of the Queen's favorite dogs. Their name is Murik and Sandy. Murik and Sandy, and these are dogs that they call. Dogs that they call doggies. So let's move on. So this was when Queen Elizabeth, as you can see, Queen Mother is pictured looking at a first future queen. So that was Queen Elizabeth's mother looking at her. And moving on, as you can see, Princess Elizabeth was with her grandmother, Queen Mary of England, and this is the picture we are getting right here on the screen. So moving on, this is young Princess Elizabeth when she was picking flowers, and a photograph was taken by her father, King George, the seats in Syca in 1930. And now we have King of the United Kingdom and the Duke together with Queen Princess Elizabeth at that time. As you can see, very brilliant. And now Princess Elizabeth is with Princess Margaret, and both of them are playing with their favorite dogs. So they are more in pictures as the Queen. So as we can see here, as that is happening, I think we are having internet issues, so we'll probably try. So the internet is not favoring us, and unfortunately we will have to end the whole show here. We're giving you guys more update as to what is happening. I know you guys wanted to know more. You guys wanted to follow our extensive coverage of what is happening to Queen Elizabeth, what happened, and all of this. So this is basically the news that we are getting, and it's a very sad day that Queen Elizabeth is dead. I think now our network is really back strong again. So that is. Do you have anything for us in regards to Queen Elizabeth? We were sharing pictures. What I'm learning is that very soon an announcement to be made in regards to the coronation. So in regards to the burial announcement of Queen Elizabeth, and even what is next from here. This is a sad day. All the flags in UK are lowered. And then this also, I'll be giving you more updates as all of these various events unfold in our beloved country and in the world.